Hello, hello, hello. This is now Mohammed Shilan coming to you now from North Carolina, USA, with my co-host, Mr. Victor Mingot, coming to you now from Surrey, England. And this is VOS TV, Voice of Salon Network TV. And today is Sunday, February 4th, 2024. And as usual, we're starting a little late today, but we will give you the full 2 hour of the program. The starting time is not the usual time, but we will give the deficits, we will add them, so we will get a full 2 hour show. And also, there are certain things we can display on the screen, but for purposes of people and we probably need the information. So we can always try to repeat them in terms of phone numbers and the various medium them through which we broadcast. So if you're calling from North America, Mexico, which includes Mexico, Canada, and the US, you have a toll-free number you can call from. That is 866-944-7722, calling from North America. If you're calling from the United Kingdom, particularly in London, England, there's a toll-free number you can use without any cost to you, and that will be 44 208089 1455. 44 208089 1455. If likewise, if you're calling from Australia, you're calling on the local or a free number, then and the local number you will call from plus 61 29 0984 337. Plus 61 29 0984 337. If you're calling from the WhatsApp number, or you're calling to the WhatsApp number, we now worldwide, regardless of which country you call from, it will be 343 997 5828. 997 5828. And of course, we also, this broadcast or broadcasting is carried on Freetown Radio 91.9 FM. Freetown 91.9 FM. So in addition to that, we're carried on Facebook, we're carried on YouTube, we're carried on Instagram. And so we invite people, listeners, to please search for we anytime. And some of them places I don't name for see if you can find we and listen to what you will get for share with you now. Okay. Now today topics, because we like for check on trending topics. So the introduction of the bus or the bus system, now Freetown or the Western area in particular, since the buses are running from the western part or the eastern part of Freetown, from Joey, Calabaton, from Calabaton all the way to Lumley. So we talk about Calabaton, where will be the eastern part of Freetown, central part of Freetown, and all the way to Lumley, when at the western part of Freetown. So them buses there, we'll get a lot for talk about, because now the hot thing down in Freetown, as a matter of fact, in Sierra Leone. So we'll play some videos and audios so people can go try for see the pilot program or the introduction, how well has it been going, and then what lies ahead. Our topic for today in that respect is navigating the road ahead with new bus fleet amidst growing pains and public optimism. So some people, there are mixed feelings in that you get some people and we figure say this is a relief transportation wise to the general public, and you get some people who feel say something better can be done. But no matter what you say, the introduction of itself is a step in the right direction. I don't think anybody will criticize, say, the buses are not needed. They really are. And so some people then get some good constructive opinion. We'll go play an audio of Chief Minister Senge explaining to we or the public the operational structure of the bus system and what to expect. I'm trying to describe some words them like corridor, like route or route, to the general public, what that means. So that said, let me pass now over to me colleague. Well, before I say that, let me just deal with one other. Let us talk about the subtopics them in that respect on the bus system. So we go make sure say. So today's broadcast we will cover not only the new buses and what the people in the say, but who is behind the project, how was it funded, the procurement, meaning how we buy them and pay for them, how was it tendered, cost of the buses, how many are currently in use, and if the number of buses we'll get, if they're all day in use or not. Then, of course, we'll go to a second phase, if time permits, about the operational issues, such as the structure, public-private partnership, the 3-day trial period, watching on the public opinion, and if there is any lesson to be learned from errors that may have been found or that may have been prevented, and whether more can be done with respect to traffic management and road safety. What are the challenges? So with that said, let me go pass now over to my co-host, Mr. Victor Mengot.
Well, Mr. Shillong, thank you very much. I'm glad if I talk about this topic. And now it don't be the most trend now we continue today. But before I go into this discussion, I want to make some observation. And the reason I come now for clear the air on, as Mr. Shillong say, Uda designed the project where it was designed, and mere involvement. Okay, let me tell you now where my own involvement is, right? By profession, I'm a traffic and highway engineer and transportation specialist and also urban planner. But like any way come, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is that me go confirm so waiting the government do it right. The bad is that people do not understand the whole thing because there are lots of falsehood. And the ugly, now the personal attack when they attack me because I try to give people the information, and I'm working for the country as a citizen without any pay. That is the personal attack, and it should stop. So I say, let's come on this air for explain to people my role and what I know about the project. And for me complain, even if you call in, I know they talk for government. I will explain what I know, but anything what they say, not to waiting government they say. Government then get their own way of putting information. Then get a Minister of Information who is very prolific, we can talk within the government. So I know they talk for government. I talk as a professional and somebody will get the right for explain how them bosses they manage in terms of me involvement in supporting the project, albeit from the private sector. So that's not the situation. So I hope so listeners will get that clear. So this is a government project funded by the World Bank, and I'm a professional who's been there in two different capacities. First as a consultant, then as a volunteer trying to make things get done. I don't think if I give me service to the country, then they for let people let me get attack me and talk all kinds of things. But today, I hope say the topic as we deal with them, where I will bring everything out of the Kotoku in a go understand. So let's stop there and get me co-host for direct the process. He's a lawyer, so anything we bother on the legal side, he can explain. Me on the other side, and me the engineer, and post whether involved in the project since the inception in 2019. I will able to explain, tell people, taking you through the journey. So for dispel all the myth and the falsehood. So over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mingot. Thank you. Now, today's topic, like I say, I want for me to start first. It's about the buses, again, generally speaking. So I want for me to play the Chief Minister Senge, David Moinina Senge, in audio concerning the buses there. They try for shed some light on the whole program. So if we listen to them, then we can move on to explaining the structural setting and how it's designed to benefit to people. Then. I'm not sure if the audio gets indistinct.
Communication, as expected, we didn't expect that, and so we were prepared for it. So we don't begin, we did move the bus system, and we are.
This doesn't sound like his audio.
I think that is the director of transport.
Yeah.
The other audio now the chief minister where give.
Okay, let me explain this thing.
That's
for
it.
Everybody, for you councillor and for the citizens about this Waka Fine. Not think about as a bus project. Think about as a utility, mass transportation project for all man, for plenty people them. Like what you see inside just the first couple of days, we don't sell 60,000 tickets. We get many more people than we obviously get for use and pass standing. Now, buses. Yes, we get buses. We get 50 bus system. We then at the road, and then bus. Then they go different side from eastern to central, and vice versa, and then from western to central, and go na Connaught or go downtown using one main road, Wilkinson Road and Main Bible Road. So the bus then and then 50 they not do, but then they enough inside this main points and for they go every 10 minutes. That's not the first thing. The second thing, now that we get what they call the corridor, the routes, then the roads, then we then don't make for them bus. Then the reason we make them put that in a then road, then they during peak hours, and during the 10 then we then they flow. Now because we want to make more regularity and predictability. If somebody they come on a house for go Connaught, for go fan in sick papa, they know say they take 40 minutes for good day. One for maybe saying 40 minutes they take for good day. That means say we don't want people then where they stop and break the law them along the road. But secondly, or related to this matter, then boss then they company then put that driver union then they get ownership on that company. So they're not just pulling a road then they say they're not getting nothing. Then get ownership on the company. Then we then pull in at this corridor, then send them go na other road, then still the function, then still the carry go passenger then from one place to another, drop off, pick up, connected to this corridor, and then they not a problem, and then they continue with the regular route. So for example, the Freetown junction put that and they would go the other way for go Aberdeen Road, for example, and whereas the they follow through, and this actually don't expand service, because before the routes then now where the put then they go no been they go they try the keke then no more been they go the and bike there, but now this don't change because we don't expand the routing option. The third thing that on policy, Governments don't develop plenty policy then on road safety, on maintenance. This new boss corporation company would then set up all for improving safety, and then they don't create rules then for when try we all can grumble wooden truck then can turn at their main road then go block the road. Then we all the inside traffic for 2-3 hours. People they want for go up and the markets spoil. Now then policy then they affect and change who stand trailer then for the pass, who stand vehicle they go deliver for the pass, and then main parts then they so that traffic will flow and people then when they go do business they go do their business. All this now for make sure say all man including the one that will not consider inside bus. Now the traffic they flow better for them and more infrastructure. We not just do one no more. Then we say more on put infrastructure. We build traffic lights them, and then traffic lights and we build road labeling them for road safety. We build overpass them so that people then go cross and do the. We build bus stop them and place them where bus then go there. So the infrastructure development also they on there. This line then they call social change transformation. We not just come with boss like Trade or like other people then say yeah look boss, we be need for change the policy, we be need for build overpass, we be need for build safe systems. We do study them. People then can say we not do study. Trade keke from one place like Lumley so can at on a 15,000. We know say yes, people then they will be pay 5,000 pounds some put that there. But part of this social change here, by the way, would they listen to una and would they try for see if we go introduce different routes. That way, if not to just for Lumley, take on that town, but routes then go they we go come on Lumley, then stop halfway like ye building so and would they explore and they as we get more boss then we're able to do that and more routes then. This now for make me wanna all understand say this government here they try for bring services to we people them and to all man.
All right, thank you very much. So I want to make we go back because we see some pictures of the buses there. We see people lining up trying to ride them. We understand say this is not a trial phase of the whole program. So the ride now free, but there is already an established fee that it will cost people them for ride. So you get people who go give an opinion in terms of whether the cost of 10 leons for point A to point B is too high, or whether the system will sustain some of that that price there by cutting it down, or whether it matters to some people if it's reasonable. So there are so many things we get to take into account because at the end of the day, this bus or this transit system now for the good of the general public. So now, what I want to make we talk about, if Mr. Mengo don't mind, now forget the control room. Since we heard the chief minister in explanation, and I think he helped we for let we understand what for expect. We help we for make we know what the government think. And there are some people who might want to engage in, I would call it the pettiness of this whole process, in that there will be people who are going to inject. Well, politics is inescapable. And we all are affected by politics on a daily basis. And so sometimes politics will give one political party, even an advanced country like here, it will give one political party advantage over the other just because of coincidences. So now, because I've heard of people trying to condemn the process itself, but no one would deny that the availability of the buses and the operation of them is in the general good of the country and of the city itself, since now we're capital city. So I think we for all appreciate. So I would suggest that we'll focus more on how we can improve the system. Now, Mr. Mengot, an expert in transportation, but he will agree with me. This is not a novel idea. Buses, having public buses is nothing new. Sierra Leone are the first country. Now, West Africa in sub-Sahara, maybe the first country in Africa. Forget public buses or public transit system in buses than the country. In fact, we were so good at it that Road Transport Corporation had buses going all the way as far as Kenema, maybe and beyond. So the introduction of buses within the transportation system in the country is nothing new. It's nothing novel. We've had it. We've had big buses just like those. We've even had, I don't know how many of you will remember the double-decker, the two-level buses that were introduced in Sierra Leone, I think in the 1950s. So this takes us back to where we once were. The operation of them might be a little different because Freetown is more, or the Western area has more population now than ever before. But let us just realize that this is progress. So let we all come up with ideas. Not so much, I mean, when I say ideas, don't then say you can't criticize, or don't then say you can be critical. I'm not too sure, say, if you're critical of certain things, you are criticizing per se, since criticism tend to have what we call negative connotation. But I'm just simply appealing to everybody, not on behalf of the government, but on behalf of the people, that this is something we should be proud of. So we all come up with ideas, come up with suggestions, and try because Chief Minister Senge just say audio, just not say, then they listen. Watching people in the say. So I hope it is I hope it is now, because there are a lot of videos out there. There are a lot of audios out there. So I hope they are listening. If they listen to even the ordinary man at the street, they get good ideas then for propose. If they listen, things will get better. And that will all for hope for. Because at the end of the day, even if we use the expression, say, country, they suffer, but country, not the suffer per se, not the people in the country who are suffering. So we all get to try for put with ideas. You know, this is not a SFPP thing, like here is some of the top brass them, not the partisan, what, not the SFPP they say. Say not to APC thing, not to SFPP thing. I tend to agree with that. This is something of national interest, national pride, and we'll therefore come up with ideas as to how we go about making it better. And we will talk about all the aspects of them. So that said, let me just pass on over to Mr. Mengot. Before I do so, Mr. Mengot, I know I haven't given you a chance to introduce yourself as usual. But
no,
please,
I'd already do that.
Oh, okay. So then I would like for Meku you describe, because there is this general thing about the eastern and the central, and from the western area, the bus they start from central. Now, you see, there's a presumption on the part of we all that when we talk about in broad general terms like that, say western, central, people know where you're talking about. But this is not for people in where mostly born or raised in the western area or in a Freetown. Those are simple names to them: central, eastern. But no, don't forget to say the war brought so many people from the other part of the country who are definitely, if you ask them today, say, well, Usana Central. You get thousands of people in Freetown who don't know. You know, in fact, some people in terms of the geographic description, if you say, well, Usana the eastern part of Freetown, Usana the western part, they don't know those terms. So please just help we and help them for tell we Usana Central begins in terms of the bus operation. And when we say the bus, they go and at the eastern part, you know, I know we're talking about the Calabar tongue and then place and they, but a lot of people may not know that. And we'll talk about the western part. We're not saying I go all the way to Lumley, Congo crossing thing, and so please help me for just understand some of the terminology. And the minister also try for elaborate on that. He talk about the word, he use the word corridor. So please help we for understand what's in that corridor. And then he use the word route or route, where you mean the direction, the passage, the place where the bus they ride. So just help we break down some of them words, and then so the ordinary folks then go understand, sir. So I pass it over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. And one thing I would like for let people know and explain, because people then they say, 50 bus not for the whole Freetown. You not go do. And let me complain to people and say, this not just one route. Me na Englishman, now me they call a route.
Yeah.
So some man call a route, me they call a route. Yeah. Right?
Okay.
And the route, we not just select that route they no more. Right? We do a survey. And I'll get privileged to that. Because when you want plan bus, you get to look at what we call demand. Who say people they want go? Origin and destination, nine are the main two they consider. Say where you come on a host, if not church you they go. Who say church day? If you're not in your neighborhood, how you go to that church? That's so this routes day, right? The corridor, what we call corridor in transport, now a major what we call strategic road, a corridor. Just like when you get host the way you get host, you get corridor. If you get 2-3 apartment, the corridor, now the link to all them places in this. So that are the corridor. So how did we choose this place? Let's look at the Lumley axis. Lumley outside the western corridor starts. Lumley don't change from outside people they know. In fact, if you look at Lumley now, more congested than Kuto Road because of the market. People and they different shift. And you get small satellite towns them around that Lumley area there. Names the way some people not go understand. You get places like Kuntolo, Kamayama, you get Krabtong, you know. So you get different people. And so now at the beginning of this route here or routes for the top. So Boku people in the common at that area there, we want to go inside town. So the western corridor, now from that Lumley area there, and I'll tell you that the route or routes, where it go through Wilkinson Road, Congo Cross, Savage Street, Sanders Street. Don't get one where they go down Portney Street. For the one where they go Hospital. Don't get the other one where they go to Gloucester Street. For go to the place where they call Central Bus Station. Now near Usai Wallace Johnston Street, Usai near the SLPP party office, and also near Slet, and also near the City Hall. That place there originally had been a railway station.
Yep.
When we closed the railway, now it became the bus station. So people remember there was a gentleman, tall, elegant gentleman called Gascony Davis.
Yep.
When I've been bus inspector, he wearing short trousers and hose. Now they've been able to control how people in the go. So standing at the middle part of the route. So that central bus station there. Now Usai we been they call Water Street. Now they call her Wallace Johnson Street. So now the central bus station. Now look at the east. The east now from Jue. And if you look at that Jue side there, Boku, small place they don't come. In fact, one time in their way, then they tell me about places like Mambore and all them places. And they me know hear about it. So also you get people from that eastern part, right? Where they come for inside town. And waiting at down in the eastern corridor, it come up from that Juede. Or now we start Calabaton because now it Juede. This is not phase 1. From Calabaton, now they come now that same central bus station there, we are called. And waiting at the route. From Calabaton, now one grey road we get now called the Baibure Road. That Baibure Road, then they leak all the way, come from PMB, Can, Wellington, Kissy Shell, up Gunton Table, you know. Then we go through Kisi Road. So some of the other traffic then will go through Fobe Road. Donc Kisi Road, it go through Sani Abacha Street, what we know as Kisi Street, then Wilberforce Street, they go back at that central bus station there. So what you happen, you get people who they travel from west to central and east to central, back and forth. That in a major place. So the survey we then do for a whole day, the number of people that they travel on that route day, back and forth, both east and west, is almost 56,000 people. So you get a lot of transport. You get transport and now you get Poda, you get Keke, you get Okada with different price. So now the routes, a route and corridor, now in that. This is not phase 1, but phase 2, the Lumley side will go number 2 river. Because when you go there, you get beaucoup places themselves where don't come up like Levuma, you know. People don't go surprise say, when we go Freetown, that place, they then get place where they call New York. And I believe say, they say that some Sierra Leonean people that have been there abroad, where they can call JC or Tusim. Now, who say they all go build the house, now they then call New York. You know, so you get a lot of places that we don't grow up, we need to be served. And some of the people in there, they don't want inside town. They come out as then Godrich, Levuma, for Khan, now Lumley. Then the same way, the eastern side, we get for move from Kalbatong to Due. You get a lot of people there where they come out that way there, yeah? And when they come out Waterloo, even Waterloo, they get places where they call Debulol and all that thing in there. So now main east-west link, there's no other road or route or route we get that kind condition there and movement from east to west, east to central. So I hope they explain which are the routes or routes we will talk about.
Well, thank you very much. Let me also let the listeners they know say the lines are open. Please feel free for call and make comments or ask any question at any time. I will go do my best for try for respond to any questions when I get. Just remember, we get the 3-minute rule where so think of your questions or your statements or your comments and just get that your mind say there is a limit or limitation of 3 minutes where we will allow you, if you know member, we will remind you by a buzzer, a sound will come on for tell you say your time is up. When you get a buzzer there, my advice would be to you, you can just stop right there. And if you want to continue what you say, just call back so you go be in line for putting your suggestions or make your comments. But not just continue because we're trying not to be rude or disrespectful. So please help we cooperate in that sense. Let everybody get time. And sometimes, a lot of times, we'll not answer all the questions or all the calls, then we'd run out of time. So one try to take as many calls as possible. As I say that, even before going any further, let me take at least a call. So we'll try for a portion the time where people in good day now on hold for not for be too long. Hello, caller. Please tell who side you call from. And you are at liberty for tell your name or not.
Good evening, Shilon and Mr. Mangot. This is William Mustafa again from Leicester.
Thank you, Mr. Mustafa. Nice to hear your voice.
Yeah. Last week, I've been asked Mr. Mangot about these buses. I've been expressed my concern about the routes and people are living, and it don't come to pass that all the routes they own. Una see let people not pass, bosses not pass. Una don't see it's like a monopoly. All those people that the main route they will people and they pass for let them get their living. Una not see the cry now. Some people say they go on strike. So I hope una take that into consideration for a review. Secondly, I want to ask a specific question about the cost of the buses. They say 119. According to you, by the other network, you say $119,000. So while I do my calculation, now less than $6 million. Now so the boss then cost. So I suppose say with that, we not get for ship them, we not get for custom them. So let's say if half of the money again go up on those thing and they let's say now 3 million, say 9 million. So we'll be understanding now 50 million project. So waiting at the other components them of this project and how much money they spend per each. Do you help me with that? Because I no go one for that misrepresent where they try to talk about these bosses. Because as I say, last week you try to defend the policies of the World Bank, but some of us always have a problem with within the World Bank. You talk in a bank, nobody no force. But we person angry, you not get food for eat. You can't pass with delicious food.
Anyway, Mr. Fode Mustafa, I'll interrupt you because this is what I'm saying, the falsehood. Because I was not trying to defend the World Bank. I state the obvious. So I not think say if fear on me part for say I defend the World Bank.
You were trying to explain the inner workings or describe the job of the World Bank. So
yes,
it may be
because this cause a lot of problem because people are misinterpreting at the state. So I like for clear before you go further.
No. Okay. Sorry about that. If not so you take I just put a other way. See if they try to explain the World Bank, things them what then they do. Like we say this now a bank, they know force person for good day. Now that I want to talk about. Now this now the word this we say, people and they go, but I just try for talk say the African government like Sierra Leone, we have lazy politicians. We no one go hard for get their own currency or their own money. So, but if somebody can flash $50 million in their face, he go prefer for grab them, and we grab them, we get consequences. And this is what the people are going through. Because this 50 million don't kind of big money, but we check the boss, which the cost, and me not know the other concept them about the project. So I want to know. So you go see back say like how the same way they want it we say they can't give you money. The better we can't cause chaos, economic problems. They go before. So now that number one you clarify, sir. Thank you very much. And if you get that thing wrong, I don't mean for put you on the spotlight, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, Mr. Mengot, I know you want to say a lot to that, but let me just say, we don't get any doubt Mr. Fode Mustafa are one of the most credible callers and listeners of the show. So I think in good faith, maybe it misstate that or you understand that. So I don't think that's such, we're not going to make an issue out of that because I think Mr. Mengot is only concerned that people are not think say is a propagandist or is pro or against the government or any group. But according to what Mr. Mustafa said, Mr. Mengot, let me just add to that before we get several callers on the line already. So you go decide how you want to go about it. But let me just try to understand, say the $50 million with the World Bank give and with the matching funds, what Sierra Leone had to come up with of $2 million. We count to 52 million. Now, that money they include all the things other than the bus system, as in the bus stop there. So you are more of an expert who could try to explain to we. And then with the projection that in all at the end of the day, we will need up to about 200 buses for that western area there. But that will take a while. And then how we intend to achieve that. And if you can explain to we, since you say this now, you say this not government, private partnership, like me, so I would like to understand, because you get two opposing poles coming together, because private, then they always operate for profit, which would be the sole intention for going into business. But government should not necessarily go into business for profit or motive. Government should also go into business to provide services, sometimes at the to the loss of government, and government will take into account subsidizing some of the deficits. So please just explain to that, to we, like this government, private partnership, if you can just think of that. Can we take one more call? Then you can take it over from there. We'll get several calls, but let's take one more, please. Hello, caller. Please identify yourself and tell us where to call from.
Hello, viewers. This is Omaru the call.
All right, Mr. Omaru, thanks for calling.
One thing where I understand, but most of the procurement way they do in terms of transportation in that country, they're always shady. Government in, government out. Then they fail for explain to the people. So then just take an extent and favor them to do the people.
Indeed.
We get people, we get more naive people in that country who will understand most of the things that need to happen. So when things happen, then get for explain to the people. We not like America, we then go summon the department for make it explain to the Senate or the Congress. We know they that way. We in a salon, we not get nobody they can explain to it. So now that now we on difficulties that we will find. And this not now it happened. I always talk. I remember just the near future. The near past. We get somebody we other bosses in that country. It been a radio station call the amount of bosses. We go count the bosses. Then reach. Open corruption. It don't happen. But me no one focus on that this night. We no one focused on the service. The government explain to people and they say stupid people or people who don't understand. You as a government, your responsibility now for give the people quality service. But we don't watch. I talked the last time now about the transportation. You go expect somebody to go na Lumley, then somebody to go na Congo Cross, then the person to go na Congo Cross, he pay the same price with the person to go na Lumley. It no make sense. No matter how they explain them, it no make sense. It's too expensive for the ordinary Sierra Leoneans, and the boss is there now for is the suffering from the ordinary Sierra Leoneans. So, but you go cost something, you can make a price per now. They expect people for clap for you. And I see the excuses when they give. Then they talk, could you imagine government they talk say the boss get other and facilities that they will charge it phone, they will get express. This government they explain in job to people. You as a government, you're responsible for offer services to the people they're satisfied with. So can't we say you get a boss, you go with charge a phone, and you go with get express. This is not the service that the people expect from the government. So let's not use this for justify the over expensive of the bosses. Let them make the bosses more reasonable for people. Just like what Ms. Shashilo made the talk, the government not for maximize profit. But we don't see, say, most of the time, what could they fail, the government they maximize profit. They forget about the ordinary people. Then again, I just want to talk there on Abia Ms. Mola, I talk again about the old Sierra Leone issue. Freetown not all in a Sierra Leone. So then therefore make sure they extend the service, and I know say they go do them. I just want to let them make sure they extend the service to the region. Let them make sure everybody, they list somebody benefit from the service, not only Freetown. Now we just left for concentrate on Freetown. Freetown not only a saloon. Saloon is bigger than Freetown. Let them make sure everybody is inclusive. And let them look at the price again. But that justification in the country about the price, makes sense. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think Mr. Shilon, not for lose the trend.
Yeah.
And the two callers that we just called, they raised 6 pertinent issues. You go better address them.
Okay.
And then we'll continue because it goes through a lot of light. Let's start first with the first caller. He asked, say, and one of the things, you see where the misinformation coming and the misconception is that people say, hey, this is now 50 million and give it. Some man they say now 50 million they use for buy the bus them. So if they take 50 million for buy bus them, almost one bus will cost
Add up with 50
add up
bus.
with 50 bus. That is not true. Before I go, waiting that 50 million they did for, he also talk about the price of the bus, which was given in a breakdown, right? Because then bus here, it will be fine for combine this with the man we asked about procurement, because the two related, right? Because I will show people and say, because he talk say procurement shade, yes, there's all, but this is a World Bank project, na grant na 50 million. Okay, now the boss them, indeed the government put statement, not to me, me not a spokesman for the government, but I not think say they lie to people them. Each bus costs 119,000, I would say roughly 120,000. Yeah, so if you take 50 buses, you can get 10 buses that will cost 1.2 million also, times 5. Yeah, it will tell you about roughly 5 million, right? Or thereabouts. Then you remember say you get for pay for shipment, and they come all the way from India. You get for pay for insurance, which we call CIF, cost, insurance, and freight. So the cost, insurance, and freight, nine come to that total 7.5 million. When at the cost of the buses, the shipment of the buses, the insurance in transit, and the clearance. So anybody, the people that way sell the buses to we, na Ashok Leyland from India. And not to say now particular model where they get them build them to specification. That I can tell people them without no doubt. Because give them the specification, then build them to specification. So now that's not the cost of the bus, and the government don't put statement to that effect. So me no go. So when it comes to procurement, let me explain the procurement, because this is a World Bank business, right? And before I go to the procurement, let's talk about waiting at the 50 million, waiting they spend for them, right? The 50 million include one, a market na Lumley, because Lumley na in the beginning for clear all the street there. That market is under construction now for move all the people in the goodie. There is also a bus terminal na Lumley, which also the construction. There's a delay because, of course, say when you do construction of country during season, you get reduced one. But we hope say that terminal they go done. So the bus terminal and the market now part of the 50 million, now called the infrastructure side, civil works. Then I see government put so many overhead pedestrian crossing, footbridge. I'm not here to justify whether they're right or not, because I know they speak for government. I just tell you now, waiting and spend when I can see physically. Also, the 50 million include the traffic signals they were put already. 7 intersections from Lumley, sent around that Kraton area, to Spur Road, Wilkins Road Junction, Moriton Junction, Aberdeen Road Junction, Congo Cross, and then get one by Ferry Junction. So then traffic light, then the purchase of the traffic light, the installation, and everything, all in a part of the 50 million. Then you go see, say, the road. Some of the road, and they will get for repave, like in ABC 110, where they do that road in Asani Abacha Street. You understand? Some around Eastern Police, they go for Duam. Even part of, they put their street barriers, them, all in a part of the 50 million. Then when they do engineering works, you get forget supervising engineers. When the supervising engineer, not a foreigner than a salon company, you get for pay the supervising engineers, right? Then you also get for pay the management consultants, right? Then it involves training. You get for train several people, both in the ministry, and then even go and do people that will go other side where they go look out and transport system they operate. So that is what the 50 million is all about. So now we come to procurement, because this is now World Bank. When they do procurement for all the things nowadays, you go to the put on local tender, you go to the put on international tender. Then boss here, they were put on international tender, which means a World Bank practice. it was an international tender. So what happens when they put her on tender, then get first stage, now which they call expression of interest. So if you want to take part in the procurement, they send you technical bid, say we can able to supply this and all that thing and day. We get that capacity. Then get for sure say we don't do that business before. So now the Sierra Leone government, the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Transport, now then they evaluate, but then they get for send them to World Bank. Then out of that list, they say something at 10 people like you put initial bid of expression of interest. Then they select the best 5. When they select the best 5, how then they assess them bid then they? We get what we call QCBS, quality and cost-based selection. So then look first your technical bid in terms of your experience in procurement of them bosses, then they who are your partners and everything. Then the next one, now your financial bid. That financial bid, it is sealed. So when they don't decide the technical bid, in an all-way bid for that, even if you do oversee, you get for get representative, in a the SIDOM, they open that financial bid delay in an all-man siam. So they determine the quality and they determine the cost. At times, not always the one with the lowest cost will get the contract. Because I make sure they call them QCBS, quality and cost-based selection. And when they don't select them, this government therefore go back to World Bank, because at World Bank, they put the money. They say get their own procurement people. We go look and say the process also is transparent. So there's also opportunity for anybody who been bid, who feels to say they are unfairly treated, for appeal for that deal. So that is the process. It's very transparent. So that is how the procurement process day. I think say I don't answer that Andy. Okay, let's talk about the service. We then talk say, one thing I will tell people as I explain, this is now one corridor, now the whole Freetown. There are other corridors them, where the poda them and private sector operator free for bid. The one thing, when they start with any project, there's a misunderstanding, right? If you listen to the chief minister in speech, it talk about, say, yes, they realize, say, things are not all well. Then go to look at possibly getting a service from, like, say, Lumley to U building. We're not going to be the whole route. You understand? That is coming. They not close them out of completely. Then they listen to the government. I know they talk for government again. Now, wait here, yeah, and more involvement in terms of support, technical support to the private sector. Now that they say, right? The government also, where the misunderstanding come, and anybody can check me on that. The notice where government puts a day out, say, them boss then in our road and Bible Road, what they call dual carriageway, and waiting at dual carriageway, now we get 2 lanes. And we forget restriction, now the inside lane. What I mean inside lane? The lane where date by the cab during morning peak hour, which is from 6 to 9:30, and evening peak hour, which is from 8 to 4. Keke then exempted. Keke they not be allowed Keke or Okada. But the original idea, now for allow the other buses them, or put their public transport, for run na the routes. But during peak hour, they all the day, now the other lane with all the private motor car and day. That was the thing that was happening. But when the thing come, when they start the trial period, the police and the people where they do the enforcement, there was a breakdown in communication. I will admit that. Then decide say total ban, and now the confusion day, because the note put it talk about restrictions during peak hour, which they ban all of the traffic. Now, the last one we talk about the region. So let's explain how this happen. Not to Freetown no more. What did the government do? Because the chief minister talked about policy change. Road Transport Corporation was 1964. When I mean they run buses. At that time, now they mean they run bus them, both now the provinces and inside Freetown. So now they mean they run them double-decker bus. Then also they mean they regulate other private sector. So it means they were a service provider and a regulator. That function then later on extend to the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority, which was before Sierra Leone Road Transport Authority. Project they're about is an and then they go through Parliament. There's a law, and I can tell people them. I go let with people and they do research. If you want to find out about the public authority, go to Sierra Leone Parliament website, www.parliament.gov.sl. If you search for the Sierra Leone Public Transport Authority Act 2023, you go see what's in that authority there and responsibility there. So now that same authority they go get for give routes and operator license to the one the way they operate offline. So government no longer operate buses and for go offline. Then inside Freetown, there are so many other routes, as the minister mentioned. So then routes then they put and get for bid for them routes then they. And there are some of them where in my own view, than my own personal view, as a transport planner, they're more lucrative and get more opportunity because less congestion for let all man bid. So what I think say for happen, it's like when they put this route here, I mean for fine, then they put a map of all the other routes then where they for say, well, the put then we don't distribute them all around. These are the routes when I get for bid for license. So in all this now one grey route. Then also the keke them, then say get other side where they run, where then go provide feeder service to their main routes here. So that was the plan. But this now a new system. We have never had a proper planning system in Sierra Leone. Let me Freetown, because Freetown was built on a grid format. What I mean by grid, if you look at how Freetown is built, you get Pademba Road, right now the main thoroughfare. You get Circular Road, which is like a semicircle. You get Shaka Stevens Street. Then you get streets that will crisscross them. And Freetown was planned for 250,000 people. Now, you've been getting rural areas. Now there's very little distinction between Western urban and Western rural. All don't join together. Now that makes sure these routes come. So, with due cause, I know say the government will show the whole route network for the Freetown area. And there's going to be competition for them among the existing operators. Then there will be license also for the go upline. You will get somebody who will say, I know I want a Freetown. I want to provide service from Freetown to Bo. You go apply to the authority, they go give you license, you go run that service. Or you want to run from Freetown to McKinney, or you say I want the Northwest route, or cover Potlock or Lonsa, all down there they come. You know. So this is just the first stage. I hope say I explain to family them. And last stop, and I know say you get Boku call at them. Now take some more call. Let not be saying that me one on talk. Unless you get something where you want to add or you want to clarify.
Oh, no, we appreciate the explanation. I wish we would get government spokespeople who could be able for give you detailed explanation as you do, because that's the way it should be. I appreciate the fact that you break down the cost and the expenditure in terms of the money we get for the project. So I would also think, I don't think you mentioned that, but part of the $50 million, it appears to me, besides the road extension, that also should cover the bus stops them, I would think. That's one.
Yes,
Two, you also mentioned...
Yeah, it covered the bus stops them.
Okay.
And, and before you go, there's more to be done, because they get for put road signs and road markings, because you get for show who side prohibited traffic. What do they do now? So there's more to come. And when you listen to the time when they launch, the deputy minister say, or the minister say, of the 50 million, They've spent 3/4 of the money, 75%. So there's 25% left for do all the other small things they need. Like their road marking and everything for do enforcement, thing for do logistics, forget tow truck for the buses, all the one and they. And let me tell Fambulem, the World Bank still there in this project. Then they finish the project in June 2024. They started in 2019, and we will get a delay during 2020 because of Ebola, because the project was scheduled for 5 years. And then let me say one thing where somebody say, when they talk about say, where probably the way I come about it, like say World Bank, this, that, they're not force nobody. No, we are partners. World Bank don't do a salon for long and other African countries. In any country, our World Bank, they operate, they get country reports, the economic report and everything. So then they identify priorities. If na health service, they want to go pan. If na support for agriculture, this na transport. You don't tell where World Bank fund transport project. So when you don't say that, they'll tell government, say, well, this is what in a need. And when they develop their projects here, they know they do them themselves alone. Then they do them based on the government, their requirements, and decide. So professionals from the government also they involved. So it's not a one-way street. It's a symbiotic relationship. So let's stop there and see if you get any caller or any comment, and we'll continue.
Yeah, we do have some callers. Hello, caller. Please identify yourself and tell me what you get in mind.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You're free. Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Turn down your instrument now, host the television or radio. Yeah.
I don't turn on.
Okay, good. Go ahead. Now? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mangat. Mr. Mangat, I got some question for you. Mr. Mangat, hear you? I know you hear you.
Yeah, Mr. Mangat, do you hear him? He's saying get questions for you, so you want to
acknowledge. Yeah, loud and clear. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
And before you go, tell us, say, let's go straight to the point. And anything when a government responsibility, I will give my own view, but me not a spokesman for government.
Mr. Mango, I got some question for you. The last time I call your attention with the AAA program about this same machine by the boss. And the other thing, the question what I asked for you, supposing the people don't align. This man gets a card. He go inside, he swipe the card, but you don't realize say the money don't do on a card. And this man want to go work. He don't want late. You know, if you say that man will pay the fees, well, the easy way not do this, but we're gonna go through the card. One, because of Salon man them dishonest. That dishonest because Salon man not be dishonest, that machine they gonna receive call, must receive payment. So if that man late, if that man in money don't do on a card, he can easily pay the normal fees of the machine. And secondly again, the other question again, I only one man the kind the platform say the money where the boss they pay too much, and from one place to another place, if you want to take the boss, he go pay the same money back. Yes, then Mr. Umar will know that say the boss not to poda. The boss service, and the boss service will get a flat rate. If we get a flat rate, Mr. Umar will not forget. Mr. Umar will not feel say. Then Mr. Umar will not feel say. Na poda. He get a flat rate. Hello?
Yeah, will you listen? No waste your time. You're listening because you get limited time.
If I say always tell to Mr. Cagbo show, he always brings some unreasonable question. Very unreasonable question that he bring up. So Mr. Umar for no say the bus na service. It gets service and it gets a flat rate. If you want, the bus gets a destination. So if you come on from one point to another point, and the same rate you go for pay. You get for pay the same rate. So, hello?
Yeah, we're listening. Keep going. Keep going.
Yes, I'll go ahead. I think it would be better if you stick to one or two issues because we're not going to be able to answer you all. Because if you load about 4 or 5 questions, then I'm not going to get time for answer all. If you take 1 or 2 questions, yeah, then it will be fine. So I think other callers there for take notes.
Question, how will go do for that kind of situation that will happen? So the man come, he wait, and he realize say he ticket, he money don't do na card, and he want go work, and he want for pay, he don't want for late. How will go address that situation in there?
All right, sir. Mr. Mengot will take note of that question there. Okay, you're out of time, but if you get some more for say, call later. Mr. Mengot, you want to address that or should we take another call?
Okay, let me address that quickly. Because for now, the way the system is set up, now when we begin operate the machine readable card, and as you know, they don't put out a statement, there's been a delay, now make sure they get a paper ticket. I cannot justify it because now a contingency measure. And let me tell people and now say, there's a company that is contracted to do that ticketing system. So in other words, let's say you get your card, now card you buy, like then top-up card, where you swipe at the machine or tap. If you go on top of the card, you go for put your card, you know they work, you can count on the bus, we get agent and at the stop where you go top up your card to. But ideally, eventually, what you want for encourage people and for do, most people they get a free money, QCell money, and orange money. So if you get orange money or anything on your phone, you can still use them for top up your card without going up to an agent or use the app on your phone for pay for going inside. So that is where that's the answer to the in question. And let's take some other caller.
Hello, caller. Please state your whereabouts.
Hello, Mr. Shilo. This is now Omaro the call again.
All right.
I feel safe here. I just called back because I see somebody call. He mentioned name 2-3 times. You see, Mr. Shilo.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that.
What in they go on? We know say the service is essential. What in we they talk that the government for rip the ordinary citizens off? That man they call for defend the government. Let it show me which part in the world when they force you for pay transport more than what you for use. We all in an advanced country here. Where you want to go, you buy your ticket. You buy your ticket according to your destination. When you take taxi or when you take Uber now, according to the kilometer or according to the mileage, then they charge you. Taxi man they tell you say you come on for instance, you come on at this town to this town, no one will say you can't on that they pay. It is fair that the people pay for the service where they render to them. But you need to technically force people. And one thing is that we all get this problem at Saloon. When you side one side, you feel say, for instance, the government will in a power, you in favor of the government, no matter what it happen, you are okay with it. The ordinary Sierra Leoneans where they pay, they're not okay with the rate. And if you listen what they go on, listen even at the Sierra Leone, what they go on, when the TV stations and the radio stations they go out to ask the people American clear say expensive. So this man where they tell you about Poda. Let you not tell about Poda. The people don't want to whether not Poda or Uber.
Anyway, Mr. Omar, to be honest with you, let me interrupt you there because what you do, you don't make your point, you reply to another party will make a statement. But if you listen what the chief minister say, what the minister will tell you, they understand this problem, they don't look into them, they say, then they try for look at services they will provide halfway. And this now is a preliminary start, and then go make sure say they listen to the people. That is what the government is saying.
Yeah.
So let us say it go there on. without
get you.
without change.
I understand what you talk, but the government get enough time for do survey. They get enough time for know. The government know that they know say they deal with ordinary Sierra Leoneans. Before these buses they come, before the buses they go into run, they don't take months. Therefore, don't know say there are people where no they go direct, we go for canon a certain but what thing they do right now? What the one time we say the one way don't pay transport, how the people go get their money back? You know, okay, they know the government no get no explanation on this for forced transportation on people. They don't force the transportation on the people. This explanation, we don't need this explanation. What in them for do them all they make sure people and get service where they pay for. Now that we want to
Okay,
want to see people
thank you very
get
much.
service.
You know,
Not to let the government no can explain, let the people pay for service, they get the service. Now that we all day for.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting you, sir.
Mr. Mengo, me say do transportation. I do transportation in that country. I run transport almost 11 years. And I know they expect for charge somebody who have been run bike. I know they expect somebody for charge where they go na upgun. I charge a price for going na Aberdeen Road. I don't feel say anybody for do that to ordinary Sierra Leoneans. I understand say the effort of the government is great, but therefore no say the people they suffer, and therefore is the sufferness of the people. So they don't take long time for survey. Therefore don't know say not to everybody they pay flat rate. But for say let the service don't begin to run, then they tell we say people and go for do this. It don't make sense. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Your point is noted, and I shall say we get people that when are government people where they listen, they hear what you say, and the government will make a statement. And I can tell you, say, from my own point of view, rather than another defend government, but there was a survey done. But at the end of the day, what I can tell people now is that this is not the first time. From time immemorial, if you look at the laws in a salon, now something with me as a transport professional, I don't actually look at say, okay, if government get for set fares, it get for make them transparent enough. So not so this one no more. From time immemorial, since 1964, we get the Road Transport Act. Now government they set fares, right? And let's be fair. This okay, we know people in non talk say this one is unreasonable, but even the other fares now what they talk about now, waiting me go want for C, and I support your argument. Is when we set them fares here, it is up to government and then duty down there for explain to people how then they arrive at the fare. Then they go make them very easy for the people to understand and assess whether the amount that they charge is reasonable or unreasonable. And I think say the government in a position for can't do that now where they don't get a new regulator. So now that no more I for comment. I'm not defending government. I talk about my knowledge of waiting happen in the transport field in Sierra Leone and other countries in Africa, not just Europe. So let me rest my case there, sir.
All right, Mr. Mengot, before I even take another call, I get one quick question for you. That in your earlier explanation, you say these buses were not necessarily buses that were in existence. They were made according to specifications. You know, they were custom made. And that, so the specification means we tell them what we want, then design the buses for suit we environment. We're going to include with weather condition, with geography, with social structure, but they make them in such a way for fit we own, I would say maybe different, maybe unique situation. Now, if when we talk about specifications, I also, this is just me, your humble opinion, and I don't want you to come across as criticism, but I always want for, say, we are so advanced in the world now, we don't necessarily therefore accept mediocrity as a standard, meaning just anything. All right? I look at the picture, the photograph of the inside of the bus. Yeah, impressive. But for the world of me, I not study engineering, nor did I study design. But why would they put the spare tire in the middle of the walkway in the bus, not where it can be hidden? Will it not have looked better if the spare tire was not so visible and was somewhere where you're not going to even obstruct passengers. So correct me if I'm wrong. This is my personal observation. So the spare tire there, big spare tire there, right in the middle of the bus, will really look kind of awkward.
Okay, let me answer that. The reason it was right in the middle of the bus because I saw them in Putam where they ship them. But as I can assure you now, all them tired and they don't remove them. You see, they don't remove them. They're not supposed for that. They just tell it where they bring something, you package them, the tired and did it. But now me can assure you, because from my own working with the people the way they run the bus system, when people make that comment, I go back to my team, make sure say they pull the entire and they. Now shipment, it was not meant to be there permanently. When you talk about the design, now Ashok Leyland go get a similar prototype for that because it's just like me na Volvo man, right? You get Volvo C70, Volvo this, that. Well, they'll get an existing Volvo when I like C70. But I go want a design where suits me own needs. So I will therefore tell the manufacturer for the other hand directly, let me make adjustment to an existing model based on me own needs. Now that happen. Now that they do with them boss here. So I think say I can tell people them from my knowledge, then contact the people them, tell them what in they want and how that bus was produced. Right? I'm not a salon like anybody else. Me send a photograph at the seat of the buses. But I feel to say when I get the opportunity to go in not so long, not a distant future from now, I'll go there and actually check all the. I get reports. I don't get people that will give me reports. We do technical survey of that. So I think say if we get more caller, Lord check them call the name. But then we'll get a video. We give people a perception of the bus. We will be very appropriately play that. But we can take 2-3 calls before that.
All right. Hello, caller. Watching at you location and tell me what you call this all about.
This now for Mustafa again, sir. Mr. Mengot, and obviously you answer my question specifically about the components of the amounts, because you talk about the get boss,
okay, before you go further, you say you are not answering your question. Just make it clear whose part of your question want to answer. If you itemize them, I will able to answer them clearly.
I want to know exactly the components of the project and the amounts allotted to each. Because me, I don't calculate for you now the boss fare. The boss then buy them about
now, Mr. Fode Mustafa, you're not being fair on me. You're not being fair on me because I do a rough breakdown. I cannot give you exact amount for each item because then they go make sure. Now the same thing I do where I talk to people, I try to be helpful, then take them as say this now, Mr. Mengot in statement, then misinterpret them. What you go say you do? No. I can give you a reference now. This is a World Bank project. Yes. If you go on the site, you put Sierra Leone Integrated Resilient Urban Mobility Project, it will give you details of all the components of almost the allocate for each component. You get them. It's there. You can check the World Bank site. It's there. So off-air, I cannot tell you that.
Okay, let me just go further. Secondly, the other person talks, Mr. Williams, say, Umar not get reasonable comments. But I want to talk, which Umar talk is very, very reasonable because no part of the world know the way they charge you, see. If I come out London, I say I go London Central, they say free $5, and I want to go just Old Kent Road, they say pay $5. No, they don't do so. They pay according to distance, and this is very reasonable. And the third point, what I finally want to make now, but when I talk, say the bosses them, and they make it according to specification and we own needs. I will say the biggest need we don't get now the climate, where business alone will get up to 40 degrees Fahrenheit centigrade, and you go make a bus, we not get air conditioning, And that means say now all it just resembles how government they always say they do all the right thing, they explain a lot of good things, but in practicality, no, nothing like that could be found. So if they say they do them boss the actual specification, the temperature they not take into consideration, the road networks will not get big road them, the boss them too wide, they not take the country into consideration or the city into consideration. So then to think there first, they don't talk say, which will not talk say they make the thing to specifications is not correct. So me go recommend say
No,
well,
Mr. Mustafa, I beg to differ, sir, and give me a chance for that talk. Because when you talk about air condition, not so all man want air condition. You talk about ventilation, where the boss them then get enough ventilation where if you open the window there. Like me not a sit inside vehicle, we get air condition. But this is some of the challenges I have with some of these comments. Because the point is they assume say everybody need air condition. No, it doesn't.
Okay, sir, me time they run, me time they don't just know. I just want to say you don't do any project for a few, you do for the majority. And I know say the majority of the people then they require air conditioning. Now Europe, all they drive bus then in the summer, they all get air conditioning. Then they say whether sick or not sick. If you want, you take private bus or private taxi or inside one go because it's free. But in the summer now it's so hot that they have to put air condition for all the buses there, let people then ride. So now they don't make anything at the wall. They don't do for the minority. Now even for bus, they say now they not get ramp. Some taxi now they get ramp, so they not get ramp. So but all taxi they carry all man, but the one that we get disabilities, some they not able to go with them. So we tailor the thing to the majority of the population where will feel very hot inside our bus and any outside temperature outside will be 35 degrees or more. Where inside our bus day it will be. I don't ride bus many times, but I will tell you say where it hot outside in the summer. Inside, if you don't get air conditioner and no get any comfort inside our bus. Now that's my last contribution, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, I don't think I get anything further for comment. That is your comment. You're entitled to it. I'm not going to condemn it. But what I'm going to say, this is a urban intercity commuter bus, right? And your statement where you make say they're not to do for the majority. I think say that should not be for me. You don't get any empirical evidence or survey for say they do a survey where 90 say they want air condition. So, as I say, I'm not to defend the government, but you're entitled to your opinion. And I think, say, from your own profession, when they make a statement, they make them based on existing survey or anything. But thank you very much. Your point is noted. Thank you.
And if I may add, just by way of commentary, in terms of what Mr. Fode Mustafa to talk, maybe we for begin for the look, what would they talk about people? I used the phrase the other day, upward mobility, for improve the standard of the people them, and improving the standard not only necessarily translate into good health care, but even comfort of the environment. Maybe we for begin for think in terms of maybe taking into account that people then might want air conditioning bus system, or just like I will get air conditioning cars them. So I'm not saying, I'm sure this whole thing was well planned. Maybe the majority of people not necessarily need air conditioning. If they have a choice, they will rather pick a reasonable fee. But we, as the policymakers then, for begin for think in terms of what is the betterment of the people, or for the betterment of the people. So now that could just be me and suggestion. So this is a good starting point. I mean, I appreciate the debate. I appreciate Mr. Mengot's explanation in great detail. I've never seen a more able job than that, because the government could do just as much, or if not better, but they are not. So I could see where people might think, when you try to explain something in certain detail, to think that you are a mouthpiece of the government, but we know, I know that you are not. But I think Mr. Fode Mustafa's point also is well taken, that if we begin to think what is what we think can uplift to people in spirit and in comfort from here on. And then the exchanges there go make we authorities then know say people are becoming aware of certain things. Let me go to the next caller. Hello, caller. What's your name? Who side you call from? We'll get some videos then we'll want for play.
Hello?
Yes. Yeah, hello.
Yes, I'm here again.
Hello.
Mr. Williams.
Yes, Mr. Williams. How are you, sir?
Not so bad. I've come back again because this Mr. Umaru, I want to correct his statement the way they make.
No, I think you're not going to be fair now because if you make that statement, you will not forget the right to reply.
Yeah, and
so let not be an exchange in our program like two sparring partner. We respect everybody's opinion, and we respect your opinion. I think we not for encourage that. We welcome it, but if you can't challenge the situation now, we just get a right to reply. We're going to prevent other people then from make their own contributions, sir. I think this one I will do a guillotine on it. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Well, come back to this Mr. Umaru. His statement where they make. I want to
no, but you're not listening. Mr. Williams, Mr. Mengot they say you may have a strong point to make, but when you make your strong points in response to Mr. Umaru, then we'll give Mr. Umaru the right to come back and respond to you. And we can go back and forth and spend the rest of the time just doing that. So we want to try to discourage that. So if you don't mind, unless you get...
Honestly, attention, say, the boss, when they try to say, they pay too much. I don't know if Mr. Umaru, if he stopped America or England. We were in America, yeah? We get way out, we get you way out they pay with boss. The boss get flat rate. The boss where they run within the city, like how the boss they run as alone now. That's what we get it the boss the way they run. Now yeah. We get you way out they pay with boss fear now yeah. And secondly, we get card. We get a monthly card where you get for you, where you go pay money, you go pay money monthly, you use it throughout the month.
So please help me out. Tell me. Help me out.
Yes, sir, Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, we've heard you.
Help me out.
We've heard you, and your point is taken.
Hello? Yes.
Yes, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to correct this my statement.
All right, Mr. Williams, go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. You're running out of time, so go ahead.
We get you way how would they pay with bosses right here. We get monthly and we get day pass and we get senior. So what would they try for talk? What I try for tell Mr. Umaru, I don't think they say he stopped that. If he stopped the America, he go understand what I talk. The boss get flat rate.
Mr. Williams, I must interrupt you there, sir. Mr. Williams, with due respect, I must interrupt you. Not be listening what you say. If you begin correct and argue with Mr. Umaru now, it will be like saying the debates. We don't get your points, we don't get him point. So let's move on, let's give other caller the chance because we don't get much time. So we respect every viewer, but let's make and say this is not a program where we get people in the comments accuse each other or counter each other back and forth. So thank you very much. So let's take the next caller, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Who side you call from?
Yeah.
Hello, caller.
Yeah, Mr. Shilon, this is Abdul call.
All right, Abdul, welcome.
Yeah, I want to thank you for this program. First of all, I want to tell Mr. Mengo thank you and his team. This is a laudable venture. I may get skepticism, but after listening to your explanation, our viewers and our listeners on Liberty Online and Sierra Network, I think a bit cautiously optimistic. But having said that, I have got some questions and concerns. The first concern is the fear. I still get concerned about the fear because things say the 10 leons to and fro for those that are working minimum wage. We say, let's say the minimum wage, even though government are 800, but it's still people then still they pay people in 600. If person don't go, a weekly somebody would they pay least 20. So 20 times 5 to and fro. Now 400. So 4 weeks in a month and 400. If you know person work 23 days or 22 days, now 460. If the person earn 600 as the minimum wage, waiting go left now and for feeding, waiting go left now, and that now it put one person no more. Not to talk about the other members of the family. And even if not 800, it's still more too much because at the second for we waiting at the DMV, at the Maryland, DC, and Virginia, waiting at these counties are waiting at DMV. Now $2 with the fee for 2 hours. So if you load the bus, 2 hours, if that price amount is done, you go swipe your card. If you want to continue journey, there for ad. So at least they make them minimal for everybody able to afford them. But I still get concerned about the price. If government is listening and in waiting at the metro company, if you're able for at least advocate, like reveal on the other members of the committee, let them be able to reduce the price. That is one. Then when I get fear for seniors and children, because it not go nice for let the seniors them pay the same amount the adults we not to senior they pay and picking them. Because the school bus so they able for take all the picking them. So when I forget at least half of that price for seniors and the school picking them. So I think that I get so far because the other questions the one we get, I think other people don't ask them and you don't answer them. So now that's I get so much. So thank you.
Okay, I think thank you very much. Your concern of the 10 leons say it's too much. A lot of people don't express that, and also we they ask for fears for children and senior. We not get that at the moment. And I tell you say now government they set fears, not so we as the operator. That is one of the things that government they determine the fares. But I think say for convenience sake, we get one video in a 5-minute video where they interview some people them for giving idea. I think say it go find no plan because in a video where people are on the ground, including we own driver, express their opinion about the new bus. I think say for break the ice, if the control room can play that 5-minute video there for we.
Hello viewers and welcome to another edition of the program Talk to the Camera with me, Aissatou Smile Sise. Today the camera then at the eastern part of Freetown as Kalbatong na another station for the Waka Fine bus. Also people they team up na line, they wait for the bus and then they get for go inside the bus one after the other in an orderly form. And because of that we get for talk to passengers them way on board the vehicle. For me then tell we waiting and think about this bus and also waiting they observe about the bus and the price way then get for start for pay when at the Telions after the 3 days free ride. Waiting and think about that. Hello, welcome to this interview. Your name?
My name is David Ali.
Okay, so how long you don't take for drive?
Well, I don't say like 15 years.
Okay, so are you able to get this job?
Well, not through the process then we give me a good school. I make I get the job with God.
So you got application?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then we see today don't be the first day for make una start for riders bus. How many trip you don't go from this morning?
Well, I don't know if I have trip.
Okay, so I'm looking at some of the experience, looking at some of the challenges them right now where you don't face.
Well, enough. One, the passengers, the Alala drop me here. Instead of they use the back the month for condom, then they use for condom and for claim back. So all in challenge, somehow we can careless stock, they fling the asha stock, no more. You know, something like yes.
So what's you don't they do for overcome all lengthen then?
Well, I prefer if I talk to you once you not take, I keep silence. I forget about it.
And the boss them today not get apprentice. So how you don't they cope?
Well, for now we not get apprentice. Now the domot and the mic, na me get talk. Usa you say the condom, I use the mic or I open the domot you condom.
Okay. So what's the message where they send out there to passengers them?
Well, the only message no more passengers where can inside the motorcar. The rules the way meet by the motorcar where at least the driver tell you. Now if I buy it or no more.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mena Patrick Conte.
Okay, so I stay.
Ade Waterloo.
Okay, and we see you inside the Waka Fine bus. So how you feel right now?
I feel good anyway, but this morning we get a lot of constraints because the Poda will take from Waterloo for Cam, we then divert all the commercial vehicles in the old road. We get a lot of traffic congestion, so like I late, so I begin for Kandom. When I can new road under hard constraints, I able get the bus waker with me, but get a lot of people and get constrained with the traffic, the congestion at the old road.
So but where you come right now at bus station for can take bus, you get any constraint?
No, for now I not get any constraint. We are inside, so I not get constraint. The only thing I think of probably now when they go left me Calbaton for fend me way for go Waterloo back. I don't know what thing will be the constraint.
Okay, so after the 3 days, the price get for be 10 leons. So what do you think about that?
The price is not bad. The price is not bad as long as able to take me to my destination within the fastest possible time. We not get problem with the price. Now the comfort and the speedy movements no more now we concern.
So you they come out Waterloo and this bus they tap Calbaton. What's in the message where you get for saying out there to the Ministry of Transport?
We also the one send message to the Ministry of Transport say let them look forward to WeSef now the Western Rural District. Let WeSef get same kind of opportunity like the urban.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Mina Famata United Karim.
Okay, I see you there inside the Waka Fine bus. I go and follow tell viewers what you observe about the bus.
I feel good about the bus, but the constraint be too much this morning. They come up from Hastings to like Footballston Street. I be get a lot of constraint because they divert all the public transports in our old road. And during that process, the old road be choke where make I not able to reach to my destination. Now I return back now. I not able to take class today. I don't know what's now the issue because they tell we say they don't because of this bus they divert all the public transports in our old road. So if according to my observation, if this continue, we go strain. So like I advise that they make adjustments. At least if adjustment there, we go able to enjoy the bus. But if adjustment not there, they say no more. Purely na the bus they work on a new road, it go be a lot of constraint for with the students then, the workers then, and the business people. So I just want for big for make them able adjust. Let there be adjustments. If not, it will be a lot of constraint. So we own side with the public people. We not get vehicle on we own.
And after the 3 days, the price get for be 10 leons. So what do you think about that for the ticket?
If there is no constraint, the price okay. If there is no constraint, the price okay. But if there is constraint, I feel say for reducer for the lane man, not for everybody, but people and they will not go able to afford even the 10 leons.
So let me leave it to Mr. Chilo for start the ball rolling and commenting from what the people have said.
Yeah, when you go with what the people and they say, well, make a step back with respect to Abdul in inquiry for provisions for children and senior citizens. I think that should be, these are major factors that should be taken into consideration with respect to improving the service. I think that's very important. And also, you don't answer the question over and over, this thing between 5 Leone and 10 Leone, the flat fee as opposed to fee by kilometer or by distance. I think, that's also a major issue that they should take into account, because someone mentioned, I think Abdul, they talk about minimum wage, which we necessarily don't even, I think if we put that phrase there into play, we are giving too much credit to governments in Sierra Leone, because there have never been any established practical minimum wage and guideline. Because even when in talk in terms of 800,000 leones, I don't think 50% of the people in that category, they are making 800,000 leones. So I think Abdul's point is well taken. For those people who may comprise a large number of people in relation to the population of the Western area, maybe $10 leones might be too much. So I think it's a back and forth thing, but the minister acknowledged that they're thinking about it, when called the halfway distance. And then I don't think, in my own humble opinion, I don't think you can't charge bus fare like a taxi, because then they operate on different principle. You can't charge bus fare on the basis of Okada Daniel principle. So bus fare, I agree with Mr. Williams to an extent, then you forget a certain standard flat fee with bus fare. But I think the major thing there, since it's a private government partnership, and I think the government in your role in this partnership should be totally different from that of the private sector. I think the government has to look in fact, the government should be the spokesperson for the ordinary citizen, and they should be the one way try for mitigate any kind of bus fare way and try for introduce. So now the government always talk about 5 Leone. I think our government for the push down the more so than anybody else, because what will it benefit the government if people then pay more than 5 Leones? The government is not in it for profit. It's not supposed to go into the pocket of anyone. It will go into the general revenue. So we will hope, even in situation where it might not seem profitable to the operational cost, in my view, again, that the government will volunteer to pitch in. That's what government is about. The government should volunteer to pitch in and say, okay, we think, 10 Leones, reasonable, but since majority of the people cannot afford it, or a large number of the people, and then maybe not majority, we, the government, go pitch in, we go defray the cost by paying 50% of that 10 Leone for make up for the overall operational cost of the thing. Because my other concern, Mr. Mengot, correct me if I'm wrong, I understand, them bosses here, this is just a preliminary part of it, that from watching them bosses here to generate, they are expected there is no more funding coming, and that the 200 buses that they project in the area need funding will have to be generated, which I think can be done from these 50 buses if it is operated correctly. Am I right or wrong, sir? Or maybe World Bank will give you another 50 million, I'm not sure. Can you just tell me, because 200 buses projected, is there any more funding coming, or are we going to try to make it out of the revenue being brought in by these buses?
Well, I will answer your question based on the fact that I'm involved with metro transport. We're the preferred bidder. And let me do a disclaimer. Let people not begin to take me word for it and say, what I'm saying and clarifying is my understanding and what I was involved. The whole idea is that there are two ways we can increase the fleet size. On the one hand, the government is saying they're giving this bus. We still negotiate the contract, because when they give the bus, we're not there yet. When you have two forms, you have what you call lease hire, we have what you call purchase hire. That seems to be clarified. If it's a lease hire, it means not just like the normal. The government, they give the bus, it charges you almost if you pay for the use of the bus over a period. Then at the end of the 5-year contract, it goes back to them. If you win the contract again, it will be extended. Then a lease hire. So with a lease hire, the company not will ever own the bus unless they renegotiate. With a purchase hire, is that they give the bus, say you're going to pay for them, but at the same time, you're going to get amount where they set aside, where at the end of the 5-year, you can able to buy that bus in there, or because of that, you can able to generate income for add an additional fleet. But it's not just buy, you go get some other people. The third way, we don't get people already when they make inquiries. Say, okay, I don't want to be a shareholder on metro transport. But since you don't get route license, operator license, and you get a demand for meets the 150, 200 target, we will add our own fleet to the bus, to your fleet, on a lease hire basis, which means we increase our fleet, we run it on your behalf, and then we pay you for using your bus. Just like now, how the average man, they go, you buy your taxi, you give them, they give master money. And when they give master money, you understand? You know, they ever own the taxi. So then they can generous and say, well, if you don't work for a later on, it can offer you that taxi day for buyer. So now that's not the explanation. But the idea is that for where we get, now the routes, let's not talk about Freetown. This is not just one route. When are the main routes where, according to the survey, moves on a daily basis 60,000 people. Right. So just that one route, if we extend from Lumley to number 2 and from Calbatong to Due, you need a minimum fleet size of 150 buses. I hope say which I explained it makes sense. Sir.
Yes, sir. Next question. Again, in terms of the private government partnership, who controls the revenue? To all then tickets and money where they come. Now, I'm waiting at the checks and balances in place, and who controls it? The government, or the government in conjunction with the private side of it? Because how are we going to know that people don't enrich themselves out of the money where them bosses said and they generate, and that it will be properly run, that they will be well maintained, they will become a lasting project for long-term employment for people. So if the money is misappropriated, as is usually the case in mostly things involving money that the government they run, even that private enterprises are running, I hope they will get some very strict checks and balances in place. But for right now, in terms of the partnership, who controls, who are the custodian of the revenue where they come, or will begin for come?
Okay, let me explain to you now. Just take a look at, get the idea of the triangle. Yeah? When you look at the triangle, at the apex, then at the top, whose side and two join. That's not the Sierra Leone Public Transport Authority. Now then are the regulator. Right? Now then they give contracts to the operator. The other partner to this, now, if you look at the base, you get the operator on one side, then you get the ticket sales and management, ticket sales and management company, right?
Okay.
Now, when this was designed, and I hope say with time it will come, you will therefore buy you, pay for you, top up, you go either get a top up card, like tap in, tap out, like what you get now, we call an Oyster. I don't know if you get the same thing in America, right? Yeah. Where you tap into the machine. Or you get or you can pay with an app on your phone, like Orange Money. So when that system is there, it means that for every tap we tap that Chinde, we, the operator, they get record of how many people go through. The same with the regulator and the people that will then give the contracts for do the fares. So the three people are monitoring. So now three people and they monitor them. The regulator, right? We, the operator, and the one who get the ticket contract. And the agreement say, then forget a bank, then get a bank partner. When they all the money they go electronically. So you can able to find out how much money they go to that bank day when a ticket sale. Then you get an external auditor where they audits the money based on, we at the bus company, we know how much people and they go now with bus. So we can even tell them, say, from period A to period B, now X amount of people and they go now with bus. So if they know, we know how much each person they pay. So you're able to measure them with the revenue which is in the bank. So that's the safeguard.
So, but when you say them, who controls the revenue? Is it the government who deposits the money?
No. The ticket sales provider has to have a bank where all the money will go to.
Okay.
That account is accessible in terms of information by the regulator and the operator. Then there's also an external auditor who checks it. So there are checks and balances.
You know, with tendencies, unless there is some regular or frequent auditing, next thing you know, those in charge will start building 5-6 houses, making 10, 15 trips abroad.
No. That's why we decided to get cashless payments. With cashless payments and electronic payments, it is very traceable. It's not easy for let people embezzle money. So,
okay,
but that is not quite ready. But according to the information, it is not long. Probably within the next month, 4 to 6 weeks, the system will fully operational.
All right, sir. Well,
at this stage, I think we get 10 more minutes, and for finish the call, if we can take that 10 minutes there, and if we look on average 3 minutes, we can get 3 callers, and then we go get 5 minutes bunya for wrap up. So if we get callers, we can only take 3 more calls.
Let me take 2 or 3 more calls, depending on how the time they roll. So because 10 minutes, if we take 3 calls, now 9 minutes. With some extra.
We can do another 15 minutes if you're willing. Okay. If you're ready, sir.
All right. No, I have no problem. I'm not in a hurry. So,
okay,
hello, caller. Please identify yourself and tell we who side you call from. Hello, caller.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Go ahead. Hello. Hello, caller. Hello.
Did you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, me don't concern. Although I not been get the program full because I know the congest of the city. So I just want to decide where them bus then they run. If any other transportation they run there, or then just give them route then they to the bus at least, because the last meeting I've been a talk about 25 minutes. One bus, 25 minutes behind the other one, something like that. I just want to think about the traffic, if that go meet, or then get their own separate route where they run. We go make that 25 minutes after one bus, 25 minutes. We'll make that schedule work perfect. And my own contribution that.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for the question. I think Tomio understanding and Mr. Mengot, the authority on that, they not necessarily prohibit other traffic for run outside the bus and the run, except for certain peak hours. At that time, they no more than get limitation. And I think the reason for the limitation, when they say certain vehicles are not go day or not go run at the area day, now because they want to let the buses they run on time. So one go even depend, because I think that, again, the chief minister addressed something like that. You use Connaught Hospital as an example. If you want to go visit somebody or somebody who is sick, you want to go there. So there should be a reasonable expectation of the bus not necessarily will come exactly on time most of the time, but if you're not unduly late, if the lateness not excessive, now I think that and the try for prevent. So in peak hours meaning in the busy time, like 10 people in the go walk in the morning and 10 people in the knock off. So then go prohibit certain vehicles them, the competitive vehicles them, like the keke, the poda them, not for day in the route and congest the traffic, we go hold the buses them tied up na the traffic. But other than that, I think the rest of the transports them are willing. But in the meantime, while then other vehicles and they are not allowed for go inside the bus, then vehicles and they practically are not being deprived, because people need transportation from and to what you call the secondary roads or the feeder roads that way they can to the main street, like Shaka Stevens Street, Main Street, like Wilkinson Road. So there will always be demand for the keke and the. Of course, for keke there is always demand, because keke are one of the best means of transportation ever adopted by the Sierra Leoneans them. Because if you go into some villages them, where people had to walk 3, 4, 5, 6 miles to the main roads before they can get transportation for take them to town. Now you get keke, you get Okada, you get Okada going into them places, and some of them even keke to go there. So they all play a vital role. But now me understanding that, but Mr. Mengot can clarify that if I'm wrong. But I don't think there is absolute prohibition of vehicles, of any vehicle going to certain areas, except for a limited time in the day. Am I right, sir?
Okay, let me make one clarification. Yeah, it's some of the side and we then divert vehicle. Now, also you get congestion, not to the entire routes. In fact, if you look at the Western Corridor, I've been explained, the key issue in that Wilkinson Road area, now the main place. But what I make to understand is not that then we go prohibit the other one. That's not the government in statement we put as I interpreter. It is that now because now 2 lane, peak hour, the bus then go run now 1 lane will be restricted to them only. Yeah,
the left lane, I presume.
The same with sections of Baibure Road. But what we've seen now as happening, which we need clarification, is that let's take the Wellington side, then divert the bus then at Old Road. I don't know if you remember the Old Road. The Old Road, now that road will be used before getting new road, where they come up from the Wellington Industrial Estate, where they pass through Congo Water. If you popular, we know that place there. Say go approve school. Now that they call Old Road, the road will be get. And government, the Ministry of Transport, we don't go survey that road there, which even the operator them. But then question whether they ask and then concern, that road they congested, and you get a lot of speed bumps, and you get buckets people then. So you need a proper traffic management system for let any diversion will be effective than at the eastern. If you take the Western Corridor, the alternative route or route to that Wilkinson Road, it means some people may divert them up Spur Road, which to me I don't think is appropriate. That's my own personal view. But the other routes we then get now through Atlantic Road, Beach Road, San Samuel Lewis Road, going to Moriton and come out. So we give a look at the convenience, because when they plan transport, if you get that one route there, waiting the people and say, not to me say, now the connectivity. So if you put that way they take, or can't join the bus, then divert at the old road, then there is no link to the main bus route. It causes problem for the people there. So these are the things that government has to look into, based on waiting the people and say, and based on my own knowledge as an urban planner, a highway engineer, and a transportation expert. I hope so people understand or get the gist of what they say. So if you get another caller now.
Okay, caller, please tell which side to call from and what you have in mind. Hello? Hello, caller. Hello?
Hello? Yes, can
Hello?
you hear me? Yes, can you hear me?
Very well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very well. We can hear you. Yes. Can you hear us?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, just give me a second.
No problem. Take your time.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Just want to make my contribution. This now a concerned citizen of Sierra Leone. Just making a contribution here. So I don't listen quite a bit to it in Mr. Mingot gets for say. I listen to Mr. Shillon in comments then, and also callers then comments them. There is one thing I'm going to say though, based on I think Mr. Mingot in response when it comes to the AC air conditioning in buses. Let us not dismiss that and make something minute. That is a big deal, right? I think if we are talking about improving, and the president, person in power, talked about, the Industrial Revolution. And I believe that was 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. Industrial Revolution is being up to speed with what is at current, what is modern, what works, what is convenient, what is comfortable, what is accepting, right? So we come out in a country, in a coastal place where we're very hot. The climate can go really, 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 really hot. So just because, the norm is that, you give people the basic, doesn't mean that people have to accept the basic. If you want to give people something, give them something at least that, they will be grateful for. I don't see no reason why in this day and age, bus system for cancer alone way they're not air conditioned. For me, that is a non-excuse. I don't care what the design was. And in fact, if designers were there, product designers were there, engineers were there, they know the climate. Beside them buses, then they run in this day and age. We are talking about climate change. We are talking about global warming. We are talking about all of these, extreme heat conditions then where they happen, and then we take a bus and put it right in the heart of Sierra Leone, and then we not ensure say them buses then they at least when the temperature goes up, to a certain degree, when the bus then choke with people them, put air condition on. Ventilation alone, the circulation of the air alone, the inside ventilator, together with the outside breeze, not able for, give people them the cooling way they need. I think it's very, very important for make me look into them here so that we go provide with people them with something at least, good, something comfortable, not to always no more than for the day na day, the brink of, accepting just whatever. The other thing where I want to talk about where I strongly believe, say, and I hope the people in charge, like you say, the people responsible for this venture, I hope they get insurance. And the reason why they say I hope they get insurance, I not see how you go design a bus for the life of me. Who gave those type of specs for put a tire middle a bus? That is a hazardous situation. That is a very hazardous situation. And I hope so then get insurance for when somebody go mistake buck their foot and the liability not go be on the person, but that the liability is on the government and the operators because they put a liability right there for the people. That is a hazardous condition right there. The other thing where I want for talk about again is the fact this fee. People they don't do the calculation. If you they go from one place to the other, for example, make I say maybe I don't care. For example, I just say I don't care. I get for take the I don't care. Now the boss they carry me go one side, it tap me there, now 10 leons. Then I get for pay another 10 leons back from that place there, go inside tongue, that in a one way. And then 2 way coming back, that in a 40 leon I don't spend so for the day. Come on. The Sierra Leone, when we look at our population size, when we look at our economic earnings, when we look at our per capita earnings, like 10 leon, 40 leons, just for a commute a day, when the average person is only making 800,000 per month, and that is if the employers agree to the current minimum wage, which is 800,000, because most people know they make out 800,000. Let us say a family of 4. Let us say they have 2 kids that are going to school. The man and the woman, they go work. How are they able to afford this? Can the government think about a monthly rate, a flat rate that is a monthly rate? Can they think about that? Something that is affordable, that is reasonable, that is a monthly rate, where once they don't buy their monthly pass, when they come, they tap their monthly pass. This is how developing countries work. This is how they are able to push the bottom up or push the bottom to the middle. So if we are talking about the people, yes, the venture is a good venture. But the execution is poor. I am sorry. You can't charge normal person the same way you go charge a school picking. You can't charge a 65-year-old person the same way where you go charge a normal person and also school picking. 50 buses roll out. How is it that 50 buses roll out in the day of accessibility? When we are talking about accessibility everywhere in the world, not even 10 of those buses are accessible. Not even 10 of those buses were designed with accessibility in mind in the first rollout. Like, come on, what are we doing? Like, yes, the idea is good, but the rollout is poor. The rollout is completely poor. They should have really thought about this. They should have really thought about, the needs of the people, the condition, the environment, the country. And when you roll out something, not roll them out and say and expect people to say thank you just because it's been rolled out there. Roll it out, let people appreciate that a thought was put into it. A thought process was put into it. Everything was thought about. And the people were at the center of the design. People-centered design. That's what we are talking about in this century. People-centered design. Let us not just take anything, put it out there, and then just think that the people will just come and say, Omojuba Towi, just because it is there. For me, yes, the thought, like I said, is good. The execution is poor. Madam Dynamic contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think your point is well taken, and I agree with you to a large extent, but we got to give them a little break in the sense that, because we're trying to be as fair and objective, and I appreciate the callers, because the point you make sure about the midway fare, I think is highly acknowledged by the minister, by Mr. Mengot, and I'm referring to Mr. Mengot because he plays a role in the organizational structure of this whole process. And that point has been made time and again. So I think that's something, I'll be very surprised if they don't do something about that in terms of maybe come up with a midway fare where it could be affordable to the people then. So, and everything in terms of the designing and all of that, well, again, you blame we on officials them. Who are in charge? Because when it says specifications, now in terms of what we ask for, what we want, what in design for we and would say this good for now. So manufacturers are out of this now. We on people they want to think too well and too good for we. But if we put the right people in the right place, I think we will get that kind of a thing. Yeah, Sierra Leone is hot. Yeah, me not think say it's above with standard for people and forget air conditioning buses. I don't think so. I think we deserve them. And I think it will be good when the heat don't beat you out there and the heat get away for take zap the energy out of you. When you go in an air conditioning bus, you ride into Calabaton, you take and say from Moritong or from Lumley. By the time you reach Congo Cross, you don't fall asleep because you feel so comfortable and everything. That's the kind of thing for which we people them. So we owe them that duty. They will owe them some degree of comfort. Again, I use the phrase, now the government then duty for design upward mobility, where people then standard for go up, not down, or not for remain stagnant. So all the points you made are good, and I'm sure it's been well taken. I hope it's listening to by those in charge, and I hope we will move forward. But at this point in time, we'll therefore give them a break. A lot of things were not taken into account, but let's see if they will listen to all the things that we will talk about and see what happens the next 3-4 months, or when another batch of buses then come. Handicap ramp, handicapped people are around, so we get to think about them. Old people are around, we get to think about them, picking them around. This is how the developed world, where we're all day, including the caller, we know all these things are taken into account within the plan. So we can't give young people a break. Now that makes them the same. I know they can't land book in America, land law, when I go to a salon. I say when I salon that day, I begin legislate and suggest laws them, what I like for say, I know one day left my village, not even Freetown. For all the people and fits to the fire. So I'm in agreement. We'll get for whole week to standard. Mr. Mengot, you may have something to say, but that's my own comment. I always quickly, sir. Somebody had called and they person talk about apprentice, now the boss, but I think that just the old vocabulary, because again, for we know something about bus operation, and we ride and will be small, you will get a conductor, not an apprentice, because the apprentice now, it implies what it says, an apprentice, but I think you get a conductor when I like the administrator on the bus while the driver focuses on the road. If I'm wrong again, you're not the expert, correct me. Back to you.
Well, I think what those buses, by the nature of the activity, they don't get conductor. And I will get an experience in, although people like you say, law not compare with then compare with other, but at the same time, the same people the way they say that, and then they say to we, let give with people and waiting them gets and then develop world. So you can't win. And conductor not there, because if you get a system where, as we say, you get electronic ticketing, where the driver self not they take money, all the driver they look when you tap in, they make sure say your ticket don't tap in. There's no need for a conductor. You will have people on the stops who like customer services or personnel, or people that will go there for direct people and for board the bus. That is it. So now to answer that your question, and again, as I say, myself want the best for people then, right? And the design thing and even the air condition, yes. Let me make it clear. One of the reasons why the government do the pilot, even they make them free, I will talk about this free one. Because when you make all man flock into it. And some of them people in the way go do the free ride. Now people in the way, they're not going to even use that service day. But because it's free, they all want goodie. But the whole idea of a pilot, now for wrong, discuss them and correct them. Minister don't talk, say, nothing where they look onto. And I do all the tier with people in the talk, it will pass down. Me, according to my own involvement, as long as their involvement there, I don't know when they will stop. Because I don't think I will do it forever. I will convey these concerns to the powers that be, because I get direct access to them. Right? But at the same time, I would not decide for them. I feel it and get concerned for the people. I would message. But at the same time, it's up to the government. We get for all our people into account. And let me make this point clear, right? And I'm not being defensive. Some of we will sacrifice for goodie and do them work here. right? We go under enormous strain. But then they don't stop, we will not say the truth. They will not accept other people's opinion because there is no monopoly to knowledge. And when people then ask for something, at the end of the day, it is the government's wish and their duty to make life comfortable for the people. So I accept every comment, every criticism, and any observation where I feel say the people that we do them, or we make them comment and throughout this program, I tell them thank you. They make it without any malice or prejudice. It helps we, and people like we get the listening ears of those in decision maker who will be able to convey the message. That is a promise I'll make. So let me stop for there.
All right. I am not sure if we want to take any more call because we are out of time, aren't we, Mr. Mengot? Yeah.
Yes,
well,
we don't give people a bonus. So he left to the controller, thinking directly. Whether we'll take one more call or we'll just wrap up.
We'll stop right here. So thanking everybody for listening, calling, participating, suggesting. Thanks as always. We welcome on ideas. So please stay tuned next week, same time, and come up with like President Kennedy say, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So this is a time where we will come up with ideas, suggestions, nothing beat ideas. So please, when I try for things, some of them are there abroad, some of them are there, even within Africa, there are a lot of countries. And hopefully next week or in the near future, we will begin to show examples and do some comparative analysis of other African countries. In fact, for today, I was even going to one of the questions from my mind, but I didn't want it to seem like we're trying to not give the government credit, but I also get questions for the World Bank as well as for our country. There are African countries that produce and manufacture buses. I will give them a shot. So we could get into all of that because we're not going to progress as a people if we're not getting into the African free trade and practice of patronizing WISEF. It's good we get buses from India, nothing wrong with that, but give the African countries like Uganda, Nigeria, they do manufacture buses, particularly Uganda. I know they manufacture, I'm not talking about assembling. They manufacture buses, impressive looking buses. So we're going to begin give yourself a chance. But time not there for deal with all the issues then, but that could come up pretty soon. So until then, for me, goodbye. Thank you. Mr. Mengot, yeah. Okay. Okay, what impact do you think the new transit buses will have on daily life in Sierra Leone? Okay, 7% say significantly improve daily commuting, meaning going back and forth. And then 20% say slightly improve transportation, but challenges remain. Then 60% of the pool say no significant change, challenges outweigh benefits, and that's 60%, which is the vast majority of the people. And 13% say, well, they need more time to assess the impact. So we'll get a large group of people will say no significant change, challenges outweigh benefit. Well, I wouldn't say so at this point, but this is what they say because they just do a pilot thing for 2-3 days, fully operational now, so it had for really accurately gauge the impact. But this is not the polling results will come out. 7% will say significant improvement. That's 7%. Then you get 20% will say slight improvement, 20%. And then 60%, and then they say they don't see any change at all. So maybe the result will change as time goes on, as the buses become operational. So thank you very much, sir, for directing my attention to that. Yeah, this ends the broadcasting for today. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Good night.